Happy Saturday. Welcome to Pumpkin Corner Nursery. Today is Alphabet Tuesday. It's the letter D. And we're in the month of August. So that means that for September, we'll be on letter E. But anyway, let's focus on today's letter D. And today I wanted to do a cluster of words. So the three words are decision, determination, and disrespect. So back in 2020, during the pandemic, I decided, after seeing a photo of what looked like a real baby and realizing that it was not a real baby, I decided to investigate. I made a decision to investigate and find out more about these reborns and silicone dolls that I was seeing. And I went on YouTube University and I researched and I came upon a reborn channel, probably several reborn channels, but I decided to start watching this one reborn channel. And I still watch this channel now, uh, up to this day, if that person decides to post, but she hasn't posted in a long time. So shout out to Dolly Love times 3, Tamar, who, she was the first reborn channel I ever watched. And so I made a decision. I made a conscious decision, number one, that I wanted to learn about these reborns. And then I went out to a lunch date or a breakfast date with a friend of mine, and I showed her a picture of these dolls. And after that breakfast, I decided, you know what? I'm going to save up and get me one of these babies. So I went on research, and I discovered a website, and I can't remember the name of the website right now because it's been a long time. But oh, I remember now. It was allforreborns.com. All the number 4 reborns.com, and that's where I bought my first 2 authentic reborn dolls from. I bought it from allforreborns.com. So I'm consciously making these decisions to become a collector, right? And then while I'm making this decision, there's so many things going on that I'm starting to become aware of. I'm starting to become aware of what's going on in the reborn community. I'm starting to see, how people are engaging that are already collectors. I'm starting to understand some of the gray areas, some of the not so favorable areas. I'm starting to see controversy in the community, but I had to make a conscious decision on how I was going to govern myself in the community amongst all the things, right? And so I was like, you know what? I'm here to have fun. I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm making a decision that, while I see certain things, I'm moving in this direction. And so I want to encourage, people, especially people who may be new to the community. You make the decision on your reborn journey. You make the decision on how you're going to flow in and out of the community. You make the decision on what kind of babies you're going to collect, how much money you're going to spend. You make the decision that's best for your lifestyle, your family, yourself, your situation. So I got my first box opening. I received my first box opening. I was so excited. It was the preemie size Megan Asleep. And then, and that was, I found that kit actually was on Bountiful Baby, but allforreborns.com, she had her own website. So I bought the baby from the artist on allforreborns.com. And then maybe about, I don't know, 6 months to a year passed, and I bought the real born Joanna Asleep. And that was my second authentic reborn doll. And then I made a decision. I was like, you know what? I paint and I like painting. I think I'm going to try my hand at becoming an artist. And I was like, well, for a long time, I would not even call myself an artist. I wouldn't even call myself a beginning reborn artist. I just started like taking my pictures of the baby I made and sharing it on my Instagram page. So if you follow me and you've been following me on the gram, you have seen me go through so many creations, and you have grown with me. For people who have been following me on Instagram at Pumpkin Corner Nursery. And when I first started, I was not Pumpkin Corner Nursery. I was like Buttercup something. And then I was like, that's not the name I want. That's not who I want to be. And I changed my name based on the nickname that I was given. And there's a story behind that, but that's not the focus for today. And so I'm just talking about decision making. You know, I had to look at my budget and decide, what can I afford and still have fun? Because remember, my goal is to have fun. Like, this is a hobby. This is something I enjoy. So I was basing my decision off of my foundation of why I was even involved in this in the first place. And so the second thing that guided my decision is my love for babies. So if you know anything about me, I'm a former educator. I left the field after 25 years. And in that time span, I have done childcare. I have done consistently third grade teaching. I've taught some other grade levels for tutoring. And then my overall love was for early childhood education. But I did elementary school for 7.5 years. But my overall love was early childhood education. But back in the day when I graduated from high school, early childhood education, you could not make a living off of that. You could start there, but you needed like another job to support. If you wanted to be an adult and be in early childhood education, you needed another job. You needed like another income. Even my supervisor at that time had another full-time job, and like I think the child care, I began to realize for her was like part-time, but she could do that because she was the manager. So she could, give her responsibilities to the assistant director. And for those of us who were trustworthy, I was a key holder at one time, like just so many different aspects of that. But I'm just saying the word that I'm looking for, which is another D word, is delegate. So she would delegate and be able to do another job. So I guess I'm saying all that to say, as time went on and I got into early childhood education, on the latter end of my career as an educator, more money was available. So that did become like my sole job because they were paying better. They were paying more. But anyway, I said all of that to say that I have always loved babies. So the love for babies for me, in addition to it being art that I could use to create babies, I just fell in love with the whole concept. Now, I made a decision based on health concerns and things that concern me, that I was going to only dibble and dabble with air dry paint. And so far I have stuck with that. Will I ever change? I don't know. But right now I'm happy with my decision. I air dry paint. I love my babies when I finish painting them. And today I have Riley with me, and this is the real born Jade Asleep from Bountiful Baby. If you know anything about real borns, they are 3D scans of real babies, And so this was my second version of the Real Born Jade asleep, and just turning her around. And I just love how she has like that scrunch, and she's just a little chunky. I love chunky babies. But anyway, this is Raleigh, and this is my second time doing the Real Born Jade Awake, and I just love her. But anyway, so I'm just talking about the decision making, and you know, I want to say this. I have seen so many things out on different platforms. It is really important for people to interact with people individually. Everybody does not get in this hobby for the same reason. We all have our own decision making on why we got involved. Why I'm looking for tissues, y'all, because my nose is running. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. So we all make decisions for different reasons, you know, like don't clump everybody into one ball as to why they chose to collect or why they chose to be an artist. You need to find out from that person like what motivated them, what was their reason, what's their story, because everybody got a different reason and a different story, and people may have similarities, but just don't put everybody all in one ball. Give people the respect to at least understand, you know, why they chose to do this, if you care, right? I just noticed that people, you know, when people, especially people who don't understand the hobby, they just kind of put us all in one clump, like they all this or they all that. No one's ever all anything. um Everybody has their own journey and their own reasoning behind why they are doing what they're doing. So the next thing I want to talk about is determination. Like when you love something and you care about something, you have to find a way to be determined. And here's another D word that I didn't intend to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it. Distraction. You can't be distracted by all of the things. You have to be determined to stay focused and to finish out your journey, because stuff will come up and you will be distracted and things will make you question, rethink, you know, go away, change your mind. Now, I mean, people need to take a pause sometime. People need to, you know, do whatever they need to do for their life, because we live in real life and these babies, these dolls are not real. But sometimes you do need to take a pause. Maybe something happened in your family. Maybe something's going on with your job. You know, maybe you just need a break. And that's whatever everybody needs to do, you need to do. But also, I'm just encouraging people, be determined that if you love something and you're really into something, don't let somebody steal your joy. Don't let somebody, blow out your candle. Um, Keep doing what you're doing because you love it and it's important to you and you care about these dolls and you love the hobby. And don't forget why you started. Just keep that in front of you and maintain the reason that you got into this to get started with. And then I'm just going to say very little about this last word, which is disrespect. I have determined, that in my spaces where I share about my reborn hobby, there will be respect. And I have had some disrespectful comments, but I just usually remove and move on. And sometimes I am very selective. I will go and investigate inquiries and requests. I will go and investigate before I invite somebody into my world, because I I'm responsible for how people engage with me. I'm not responsible for what they do, but I'm responsible for what I allow in my space. And I'm not going to put up with disrespect. And I don't have to dish it back out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to keep positive vibes. I want to keep positive things coming my way. I want to create a space that gives back what I put out. So if you understand the concept of sowing and reaping, yeah, what I give out usually is what I get back. And after understanding that, I want to make sure that I continue to put out positive vibes and positive energy and the things that I want to receive in return. So with that being said, today I talked about the decision that I made, or the decisions that I made. I talked about being determined, to not be, allow things that are distracting to change the journey and the course for me, that I'm going to stay focused on my reason for becoming a collector, for becoming a reborn artist. And I still view myself as a beginner. I still view myself as having a lot of learning to do, and a lot of areas where I can grow in. But I am very proud of my artwork. I'm proud of my journey. I'm proud of where I am today. And I'm going to continue to pursue being a reborn artist and just enjoying the journey and having a good time. I'm going to say probably the last couple months, I just have been moving a little slower than usual, because I just had some other things going on and I needed to tend to my own well-being. And sometimes you need those pauses and those breaks to do what you have to do, because your hobby will be there, but you need to make sure that you can show up and show out for yourself and be healthy and in a good place for yourself. And sometimes that requires taking a pause from some things. So yep, so it was decision, determination, and then disrespect. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that word. I'm just going to say I'm not entertaining any disrespect, and I'm not going to try. I'm going to try my best. I mean, we are human beings and sometimes we falter, but I'm going to try my best to plant the type of seeds and give out the type of energy that I want to receive, which means keeping positive vibes. And just because you're disrespectful doesn't mean that I have to be disrespectful. I can kindly decline your disrespect. I can kindly decline your disrespect. And I think I'm going to leave that right there. So anyway, I am in the process, and maybe I can put my girl to the side and bring out this little guy. I still think this is going to be a boy, and I'm working on him. This is, who is this? This is Miguel by Samantha L. Gregory. He has a little rat tail in the back right now. You can see I clipped it. He has a little rat tail in the back. I've given him some eyelashes. And I'm still working on his rooting. I have a long way to go. But I think I'm going to do some serious rooting this evening. And cut all my lights and put my little magnifying glasses on. And I'm going to get back started. I rooted a little bit last week. And then I kind of dropped off because like I said, I've been focusing on me lately and some things that I need for myself. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my little word cluster chat today, and I hope that it's encouraging this to you. You know, number one, don't put everybody in one category. Give people the respect of finding out about their journey and why they chose to do something. While there may be similarities, everybody has their own journey and their own reasons for why they became a collector and a reborn artist, and why they love this hobby. And then number two, you know, don't be distracted, or don't allow people to turn you away from something that you love, enjoy, and care about. Stay determined. Keep that determination. And I'm just encouraging myself too, you know, because it can be a lot of things that come about or happen that can make you kind of, you know, start drifting. Another D word. It can make you kind of start drifting, you know, so you don't want to drift off or drift away from something that you care about and that you've invested a lot of time and money in. Like, I have invested a lot of time and resources into this hobby that I care a lot about, and I want to continue to grow as an artist, so I can't do that if I get distracted. So I want to keep that determination going, right? I want to stay determined. And then the last word was disrespect. Don't entertain it. You know, I mean, sometimes, you know, I guess, you know, to each his own. You have to address what you think you need to address just to keep clarity and a good understanding. I understand that too. But sometimes the energy that people is trying to draw from you, you ain't getting it back. So don't let it take you there. You know, some things are not worth it. Some things are not worth it. So anyway, with that being said, those are my cluster words for today. And again, we love these reborn dolls. Another D word. We love these reborn dolls. We love our silicone dolls. Oh gosh. We love our art dolls. And we love our community. And yes, I'm not naive. It's some things that can be very distracting and a deterrent. Another D word. It can be a deterrent for, you know, continuing the journey. But I just encourage you to stay determined and remember why you made that decision when you started. All right. Have a great day. Bye now.